Everybody, welcome. Thank you all for being here on kind of short notice. We had the opportunity to welcome Rachel. Gosh, we probably heard about it maybe Wednesday or Thursday of last week. So Rachel doesn't know this, or maybe she does, but I'm going to tell her anyway. We have I think we have one of the best pickleball communities in the country. Our members are fantastic. There are about 1,700 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Our non-members are even more fantastic, including people who are on our waiting list. We've been really fortunate to be supported by the Westchester community, by the Cincinnati community, and as you can tell, the playing community who is out there continuing to play while we're doing our Q&A. I wouldn't say Monday at 12:30 is our most robust time of week, but it's, you still have 24 open players playing right now.
Awesome.
Rachel and I have actually never met, but she's been at the lodge twice. I don't know if you all know this, but fun fact, she lived in Cincinnati for 2 years.
Yes.
Yes. She is from Tampa, Florida, and now is back in Tampa, Florida. She's getting married next year. Lots of exciting things.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you noticed, but just coincidentally, she's on both TVs. I don't know how that happened. It's just like she walked in, I looked up, and she was on both TVs. That is just weird. I'm sorry. She's going to be with us for just about a half hour, so we're going to do like 15 or 20 minutes of Q&A, or as long as we're having fun. She's got to go practice for the PPA this week. So I'm going to ask her a couple questions, but I'd also love to hear from you guys. I think that would be really fun. Rachel is a tennis player by upbringing, but if you have never watched her play pickleball, it is a thing of beauty. I was just watching a point before she walked in up here, and I'm going to start off with a question based on what I was seeing. But the torque on her forehand as she was spinning into it made my back hurt just watching it. So I would love to hear from you, Rachel, about the difference between tennis and pickle on your body and how that is sort of playing out for you.
Yeah, that's a great question.
You can take it. I'll
perfect.
Transfer it.
That was a great intro. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for coming out. Nice to meet you guys. So I actually couldn't play tennis too much anymore after my career because of my back. I had like alternated discs. I had facet joint hypertrophy, like the list goes on. So transitioning to pickleball actually, because it's a lot more front facing. So with that torque, I have to use my core a lot more. And since I'm like open stance, I don't have to like twist out like in a tennis shot, a little bit with the drives, but the tennis is just so repetitive, and obviously the court's bigger, so it's a lot harder on your body as opposed to pickleball. You're more front facing, a lot more core engagement, and less like grinding down of the vertebrae. So
that's what I feel like I do when I play pickleball is grind down my vertebrae. I mean, that's literally what it feels like. And my shoulder and my elbow at the same time. Rachel was just telling me that part of the reason she moved to Tampa was to connect with her former coach, who's now her pickleball coach. And I think it's amazing that you are as accomplished a player as you are, but you are still seeking to get better. What can we all do as like average people to do the same thing? What should we be doing that we're maybe not doing to improve our games?
A lot of people don't like this one. You have to watch yourself play. And I feel like some people love it, but some people are like, oh, I don't want to see myself play. But you have to watch the matches you lose, especially. Like, watch both, but watch the matches you lose, like seeing maybe what patterns people are doing against you that was working. Because it's really hard to know in the moment. Like, sometimes you're going to feel it immediately. Sometimes it's easier to see it. And also the matches you win, like knowing your strengths. I feel like a lot of the time when you step on a pickleball court with a coach, they're working on your weaknesses when you still have to work on your strengths, right? You have to hone those in because that's what's going to win you matches.
Are your strengths in pickleball really different than your strengths in tennis, or are they kind of similar?
I've never been asked that question before. That's a really good question.
See? I know, I'm good.
I'll be coming back here. I like this. Very stimulating. I would say yes. I was a power player in tennis. I would play close to the baseline. My timing was a huge strength in tennis, and I also was a very good doubles player. I liked the net. So I feel like the attributes that made me a good tennis player are what make me a good pickleball player. I feel like I have been known for my power, known for my timing, and creating spin as well. So yeah, pretty similar.
Awesome. When you were, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Cincinnati just got ranked by Pickleball Magazine as the one of the top 10 cities in the country for pickleball and pickleball facilities.
Oh, I didn't know that. Sounds for Cincy.
We're number 6. We're number 6. I would like to think the lodge had a small part to do with that, but only very small. But Rachel, when you were living here, how did you find people to play with to help you elevate your game? Because, while we're proud of our number 6 ranking, we're not exactly Austin or Tampa or someplace where you can play outside at least 365 days a year. So what did you do when you were here to keep your game up?
I got really lucky because I don't know if you guys are familiar with Allie Reichert, who's here.
Oh, we may have.
She was a really good friend of mine, and while living here, and we have some great stories, but she has gotten so much better over the past 2 years as well. So I feel like we helped each other get better, and Kevin Dong and just a few other Cincy people that really made my experience here really special and helped me keep my game up without having a coach. Now I do. I sacrifice them for a coach, which I feel guilty about, but I'm super grateful because they really helped me not only maintain but get better throughout the past 2 years.
What's an example of something since you moved back to Tampa that your coach may have pointed out to you that you weren't expecting to be something you needed to work
on? Ernieing.
Really?
Yes. He was like, look, I know you're not the tallest player out there, but you can move, so you gotta learn how to see it and Ernie. I feel like it's just something that I just don't look for, and he's been really helping me with that. We're also working on something specific that's not very done on the women's side that I'm excited about. I want to see if you guys notice, but I don't want to give it away. I'm going to tell him after, and then if you guys notice in some matches in the future, you can see. But that would be kind of fun. I want to see if people notice because it's very specific. I think only 1 or 2 other women do it, and a couple men. But I'm excited to see. It's very minuscule, but it's something on the 3rd shot. I'll give it a hint. No.
God, now I can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm going to be watching this week with a ton of attention. I have to apologize to Rachel because I had all these questions laid out and I haven't asked one question off this sheet. This is more fun to just riff, I think. But I will ask something off the sheet at some point. I'm really fascinated, not surprisingly, by your journey from tennis to the first time you picked up a pickleball paddle to the time that you thought, God, I'm killing people. Maybe I should go give a pro event a try. Will you just give us a quick glimpse into what that transition was like?
Yes, absolutely. So I actually first got introduced to pickleball around COVID time. I was a pickleball COVID baby a little bit, but I graduated from South Carolina in 2019. So I think it was just too quick of a turnaround. I was super, super burnt out from tennis that I couldn't just do the pickleball thing, travel all the time and train all the time. I was like, oh, is it ever going to end? Because I've been doing that since I was 6 years old. So I needed a little bit of a break, and I moved actually to Carmel, Indiana in 2022. And I needed a way to make money. And I was like, oh, pickleball's taking off. Let's see if I can just teach some lessons. So I was teaching some lessons out there, and I met the Kawamotos. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jackie and Jade. They live in Indiana. They're incredible. And I would play with them a little bit because as soon as I was giving lessons, just word spread of who's this new person, as the pickleball community does. And by the end of the year, they were like, you should play. They kind of helped lay out what that would look like. And if I didn't have them pushing me to do that, in passing, it wasn't always a texting me to do it, but every time we were together, they'd be like, you should play. I think you would do really well. So I went to play the US Open down in Naples in 2023, and I had more pros or senior pros coming up to me and being like, are you considering playing? And I was like, maybe. So I sat down with my now fiance, and parents, and I was like, am I crazy? should I just do this? Because I feel like I'd rather be, I don't want to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out of something, because I would want to be 2 feet in, and if I fail, then I can look back and say I gave it 100%. It wasn't for me. That's fine. Or what happened happened, and I'm very fortunate and grateful for my experience. But I kind of just took a chance, and with consulting my loved ones and having people kind of reassure me, it was all I needed to, like, the push. And I got very lucky to be drafted in July of 2023 on the Orlando Squeeze. So yeah.
So cool. I was playing against someone the other day on court 1 who was playing with a Yola Gen 4 paddle, like it seems like everybody here plays with now. I mean, no offense to our friends at Seltzer. Although if you haven't tried the boomstick, it is freaking awesome. I love that paddle. But anyway, I'm standing on the other side of the court and watching this ball come at me faster than I ever thought I would see a pickleball come at me. Do you still have those moments where you find yourself adjusting to how the game is changing and the speed especially? And if so, what are you doing to deal with it?
Yes, absolutely. Especially with this new ball change, like the new lifetime ball. I don't know if anyone's played with it. It is way faster, in my opinion, than a Vulcan. It just takes off. So just constantly adjusting the speed of the game. I think I am. This isn't what I was talking about earlier, but I am driving my thirds more just to drop the fifth, because the ball's just flying, and the paddles, like the returns are so much better and deeper and harder. So it is harder to drop the third immediately off of that. So I'm finding myself looking to drive more, which I didn't normally do. I just like to drop and get in, and I like to play my points from the kitchen line. So that was my goal. But now I feel like as well, the women's game especially, like we're speeding everything up, which I love. But it's because the game's just so fast, and we're able to like speed up more off the bounce, and the lifetime ball is bouncier. So it's bouncing higher in the kitchen. So you're going to see a lot more speed ups because of that as well.
Just to give you guys, if you haven't played with it, try the lifetime ball out. We still are a Selkirk Pro S1 facility, which I love that ball.
Never breaks.
I know, it doesn't ever break, which is good and bad. But the lifetime ball, I said to somebody the other day, it's like playing with a golf ball. Like the thing moves so fast. It makes the game really fun.
So different.
I wouldn't be surprised if it really catches on. So, okay, I do want to ask you a question from the sheet because I'm really interested in this one, and I think you kind of referenced it, but I'm guessing you had to make some pretty big sacrifices and or take some risks to kind of go all in on pickleball.
Yeah.
And those might just be sort of like existential risks. They could be physical things. What have you wrestled with on the risks that you took to go all in?
Yeah, I didn't mention this, but I was during that time in 2022 and 2023, I was getting my master's in social work. So I was also like part of that is working a practicum. So I was a student mental health counselor in addition to doing the master's program. So I was doing that, paying for my master's. It was just more a monetary risk because I was doing my master's, then paying to go travel all these tournaments, and Lord knew what was going to happen. So it was a really big risk in more of that sense. And it was very stressful at times because I had to manage the job that didn't pay me money, my master's program, the job that did pay me money, and also traveling then for pickleball and practicing. So I had a lot on my plate during that time. And luckily I did graduate in August of 2023. So it was only about 3 or 4 months of true struggle. And after that, it was more just focused on pickleball. But that was a really big risk. I was nervous about, so I was like, am I even going to be able to finish this master's? Am I going to do well? But it ended up working out.
Ashley, you had a great question for Rachel, which I would love for you to ask, and I'll repeat it into the mic so they can hear it. But here she comes. Take it away. Even better.
Hello. How much of your off-court routine contributes to your success?
That's a really good question.
I know, I love that one.
So I wouldn't say all of my off-court routine contributes to on-court success, but a lot more than you think, because from being a therapist, self-care is so important. And a lot of what I do when I'm not practicing on the court or stretching at Stretch Lab or, doing recovery things. It's just the self-care that keeps me mentally motivated and mentally like wanting to go back on the court, because it's so important to want to get back out there and practice. You shouldn't look at it like some days, obviously, it's going to be a challenge and you're going to be like, oh, I got to go out there in that Florida heat, like go practice today. But I'm just so motivated because I do really prioritize whatever I need that day, whether if it's a sweet treat, whether if it's sitting down and binging reality TV, I don't know what it is, or a massage, whatever it needs to be, just like making sure you're taking that kind of time for yourself so you continue to love what you do.
I do have one recommendation for you while you're here. If you haven't been stretched by Peter at Stretch Lab, he's amazing.
Which Westchester?
The one right here, yeah. The guy is like, he looks like Hulk Hogan, like he just like, and he's amazing. Like he just like does things to your body that I don't know what's happening. But he was here the other day and did 10 minutes for me, and I was like, this is the greatest. This is the greatest thing ever. Okay, I love that question so much. Who else has a question in the audience for Rachel? Scott.
I do have one comment. Your reactions are amazing.
Oh, really?
I have two questions. How do you practice your reactions? What's the best? Because that is so important. And I used to play tennis here.
Oh, wow.
So just in case you can't hear that, Scott's first question was, how do you practice your hand speed or your reaction time, right? Do you have another one?
If it's two. How do you choose your doubles?
Ooh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. How do you choose your doubles partner? I love that question. Yeah, totally. All right, I'm not going to take that one.
Okay. For the reaction time one, in tennis, I would warm it up like with like the ball or doing some, that reaction ball. It has like little nubs on it. And
Bounces funny.
It bounces funny. So we would do a lot of that, or like partner, like drill. And I feel like, I know when we're standing up there, it is reaction up here, but reaction on first step is also super important. It like first step of moving and stuff is super important, and it kind of goes hand in hand because like it goes mind like down. So that I did a lot, and then also just practicing hands. And sometimes, I promise this helps, I feel like when my reactions are slow, it's because I'm scared of getting hit with the pickleball. So sometimes I'll have whoever I'm hitting with, if I'm acting like that for some reason, I'll just stand there with my paddle down, and they hit it like 60%. They're not wailing it at me, but sometimes I just need to get hit with it to know like I'm not going to die for getting hit from this pickleball. But it's like a mental thing. It's like you're scared of what? Like obviously getting hit in the eye. I wear eye protection, so that's the worst that could happen, right? So I just need to get hit with it to know, keep on my line, and then be like nose ahead of toes. I feel like that's also something when your nose is back. Like you can take a step back, but as long as you're leaning forward, your reaction, like you're engaged. So it's a lot of focus and mind engagement. I know Leah Jansen, I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's another pro. She does like these iPad reaction time warm-ups on like the iPad. And I don't know what it's called, but it's really cool. And it helps just like get your eyes ready, and it's just all interconnected. So that's the answer on that one. And then for doubles partner, that's a tough one because my situation was a little difficult because I got asked, and then I played with that person for about 1.5 years, and then now I was in a little bit of a scramble because everybody was partnered up. But if I did get lucky. Like I love playing with Georgia Johnson. I think chemistry, like energy on the court, is really important. I'd say that's most important. But second, looking for someone that just complements, like I luckily play both sides, but if you play one side, obviously having someone to complement the side is very important. But I would prioritize energy and chemistry over everything. If I would love to start playing some with Tyra Black because she has great reflexes, and it would make me feel super free that I can speed anything up and she's going to get it back. And the whole goal, right, is to play free. You want to play with someone with great energy, you feel comfortable with, and you're playing free. And I think that's just super important.
I love that energy advice. That I was not expecting you to say that, and I'm thinking about the women I play with in particular, and how like the energy like really affects me and affects my brain and stuff. My brain is like when I'm playing here, especially, I'm thinking about 42 other things. So I need their energy to get me focused. Any other questions from the audience? And you want to come on up just so we can ask it into the mic? Thank you.
Make it official.
Yeah.
Hi there. So I have recently made the decision to try to go pro in pickleball, and I've put a lot of time and effort recently in that. I think like the past 6 months, I've gotten a coach. I've traveled out to California and played some out there, and I have a coach out there as well. But my main concern is finding the steps to acquiring a contract with a specific tour. Say I wanted to get a contract with either PPA or APP. How would I necessarily like reach that point or get myself out there and known? Is it mainly just through doing well in qualifiers and making main draw, or is that like through social media and just kind of stuff like that?
Great question.
Gotcha. Well, congratulations on your decision to go pro. That's amazing. Hope to see you out there. Come say hi. I think the PPA Challenger Series, I don't know many, like the exact nitty gritty details, but I do know that that series is for people like you who's like, I want to go pro, where do I start? And if you do well in that series, I can't remember if the ranking goes to making qualifying or a main draw. I think if you do really well, you get a wild card into like a tournament. And then if you make like top 50 or something, I think you might get offered a contract. I'm not sure. I would do research. That would be my first advice. Research on like what the UPA is doing with their contracts and all of that. But I think the PPA Challenger Series is just a great place to start. There's lots of benefits, and I think there's also prize money as well. I don't know what it is, but I know there is some. And then I don't know much about the APP because I don't play on there, but I think that there's like only 12 tournaments a year, and that's another great outlet for match play. Like my biggest advice to upcoming pros is just playing matches, like not rec, like playing at a tournament and playing the matches because it's completely different. And the Challenger Series does a great job. Do not pull out of the consolation. Play those consolation matches. Like get those matches under your belt because that's just like what you need is experience and knowing yourself in certain situations. So that would be my advice. I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, thank you.
Great answer. I told Rachel we had a tournament this weekend, 425 players, and yet, a lot of the people who I see here on a day-to-day basis weren't in the tournament this weekend, which is fine. That's their prerogative. But I'm guessing it's because they're intimidated by the tournament atmosphere or the tournament culture or the pressure. And I know I have felt that myself. Do you still get that like angsty, butterflies in your stomach feeling when you're walking into an MLP or PPA event, or have you found a way to get over that?
It's nerves to a degree. It's like the good nerves you'd want that help get turned into adrenaline. Adrenaline's really important because it helps if you're feeling any aches or pains too. Those go away. So I think that it's easy to say don't be intimidated. It's not going to make you not intimidated. But the point of these tournaments is we're all there as a community, and I promise you no one's looking at whoever you're like, they're not a pro or they lost today. Like no one knows. Like we're all just there to have a good time and get to know each other. And the pro amateur, like I don't want to say relationship, but like the pros are so accessible compared to other sports. And I think that's such a positive thing, like the connection, like we all get to have an opportunity to like meet each other and see each other. And I'm like warming up next to people playing, like, some amateurs playing. And I think it's super fun and it's a cool environment. So on the next one, like you don't have to play it obviously, but just knowing that we want it to be a welcoming thing. It's not like like it is a competition because it's a tournament, but it's not like all eyes aren't going to be on you. That's like in your head.
Totally. I have to actually get kind of dragged kicking and screaming into a tournament, but I'm always glad afterward that I pushed through that like fear. So, anybody else have a question? Yeah, Ray, come on.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
So the growth of pickleball has been unprecedented over the last few years, and there's just like no end in sight. So, what suggestions do you have for all of us pickleballers and fanatics out there to continue to spread the news to grow this sport so that it keeps accelerating?
Oh,
I love it.
if I had that answer, I would be the COO of the PPA. No, I'm kidding. No, I think what you're doing is amazing, and we're also grateful, like promoting players, promoting the league, because I feel like so many people, like it's that bridge, right? Of like people play pickleball, people don't know professional pickleball exists. And so many of my friends, like in Tampa, they go to like the local pickleball store and they're like, hey, one of my best friends, like, she's a professional pickleball player, and they're like, oh, that's a thing, and she's like, yeah, like you should watch it one time, or follow her, like anything. It's just super important, like to just spread awareness, because again, so many people, especially because of COVID, play pickleball, but since we're so new and we just like took the world by storm, I just feel like so many people don't know we exist. So just continuing to spread the word. Thank you for doing that, for pickleball's sake. And hopefully we reach a point where I know it'll take time, but like as big as tennis, and create a culture and traditions like tennis has, like that'd be really cool. And I mean it as a harmonious thing, not as a competition, because I play tennis, super grateful for tennis. I don't like the hostility between the two. We can live together in peace for sure.
Well, I have a comment about this upcoming tournament. I volunteered this year for the tennis tournament.
Okay.
So I'm a tennis pro. I love it. But now there's that battle where Phil rotating over.
Yeah.
I want that battle. I'm a tennis player. I'm a tennis fan.
Yeah.
I just watched that great match yesterday. I love pickleball too. And I just want to balance.
I know, I agree.
Scott's comment is, can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
That's basically what you're saying, right? Yeah, I totally agree. Now, I say that as someone who has now taken two 60,000 square foot tennis facilities and completely gotten rid of tennis. So screw them. No, I'm totally kidding. Somebody called me about Lunkin, which we bought Eastern Hills Tennis. I'm sure you know that, or maybe you don't know that.
I do.
Yeah, and said, please keep two tennis courts in the facility. And the part that they maybe don't understand, well, first of all, we ran our entire business model and our business plan off of 16 courts, not 13 or 12. And also, I just think that two tennis courts is the same as zero tennis courts. I think scale matters, so that's why we've gone big with these two buildings. Ray is an owner, so he's head nodding because he knows what we've gotten ourselves into. All right, probably just two more questions. I'll ask one, and then we'll give the crowd one more. I am curious about this, and I kind of already asked this, Rachel, but I do want to know your take on how much of a difference paddle technology makes in the game. And I mentioned the boomstick, which is a paddle that I absolutely love. Is that where you see paddle tech going, is towards foam and kind of an all-around core paddle?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's the way it should go. I'm playing with the boomstick this weekend. I don't know if you guys have tried it. It's really good. I really like how they kept a 16 millimeter paddle, but it's like 16 millimeter means it's a little thicker, which means you have a little bit more feel, but it's still a powerful paddle. So it's like finding that in between. And I feel like that's the way it should go, because it just allows you to play both sides. It's not like a super thin millimeter paddle, like all paddle tech, not just the boomstick, but it's not like a super thin millimeter paddle that's only power, or like a thick paddle that's just carbon fiber, like a basic paddle, which is great too, but it's not just like one or the other. It kind of allows you to do both, which I feel like is super important. Like you don't want to have to be switching paddles, or you want to be multifaceted and have like various things to your game. So I feel like this is the way that paddle tech will continue to grow, and the the direction it will continue to go in for sure.
Cool. One last question from the crowd. Who's got one? Yeah, coming up. Do we want to get somebody?
Yeah, someone new.
We'll let you two connect afterwards. Somebody who hasn't asked a question. Stacey, come on. Sorry, we'll get you guys connected after.
Hi. I just wanted to know if we could have a little bit more insight into your routine, like your practice routine and your mental routine, because I love how intense and excited you get with your partners, and I just wonder, like, if you're, if you start to get down, how do you pull yourself out of that, and what do you say to yourself mentally? Do you have moments where you, as a therapy background, like, do you have moments where you actually practice some positive self-talk and all that?
Yeah, of course.
I need that.
It's a great question. So it takes time. There's no really easy answer, and it stems from practice. When I first went to college, so I wasn't always as level-headed on the court, and I went to college, and my coach there was just so incredible at creating mental toughness within our team, and the culture was insane. So we had these things called adversity cards, and you're with your team, and if we were down or like dropped our shoulder or even paddle, something as small as that, we would all, he would stop, the person who did it would pick out a punishment, and everyone would have to do it. So that kind of whipped us into shape really quickly, because it was something as simple as sometimes 10 jumping jacks or 20 hills. So you don't know what you're getting, and dang well that if I had a freshman doing something and I was senior and I was like, you're not doing that again.
That's funny.
So it was just the accountability factor, I think, helped expedite that process for us. But even now, so I don't play singles much, and I'm trying to play singles more next year. So singles, for some reason, I am not the way I am in doubles. I get really kind of petulant, and I'm like a little bratty on the court, which I don't like. It's not a side of myself I like. So I'm training myself now to, whenever I want to say something, I go back to the fence and touch it, or just something as simple as whatever trigger there is, I have an action or a behavior to combat it. And it's not perfect. I might get one word out or it's you, and then I go back and I'm trying to touch the fence or whatever it is. Could be a reset. Just something like that. Obviously, I don't know if you guys are going to be doing adversity cards, but accountability factor is something that will quickly change something for you, because you don't want to make your partner suffer for something they didn't do. And just the positivity. You don't want your highs to be too high, you don't want your lows to be too low. You want to keep that gap really close. So we also had a model thinking of a staircase. You're neutral on the points you lose, and you're positive on the points you win. And just envisioning that staircase, I think, really helps me when I'm on the court. I did that in tennis a lot more because I was still developing that aspect, but now it's pretty natural, which I'm very fortunate for. But just some stuff like that I think is really helpful, and knowing what your body needs. Everybody's going to be different before their matches. Some people center with music. Some people like to talk, so they get their little angst out, and they like to talk to their partner about the plan, re-go over something, whatever it may be. Just knowing what your needs are, what mine is might work for you, but might not, and that's okay. Just figuring out, knowing yourself, I feel like is super important. I think I answered all that, but if I didn't.
Okay, I lied to Rachel. I do have one more question, but this is really for the crowd. What's your schedule this week so they can come out and watch you at PPA?
Oh, I would love to see everyone. So I think we start tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday, and usually I'm not playing singles, but I think singles starts around 10, and then I'll be playing mixed and women's doubles. So it's gonna vary every day, but mixed starts usually roughly around 1, and I'm either gonna be first wave or second wave. So first wave will be at 1, I think second wave's around 2 or 2:30, and then first wave or second wave of gender doubles, it would be 3:30, and then 5-ish. There's a few waves of that, but they usually post the schedule on the PPA Instagram every day. Hopefully sometimes it's late, you gotta stay up a little late, because sometimes when matches run late, they can't make it until the matches are done, because it's a whole lot of organization. Shout out to those people who do that, but sometimes you gotta wait a little late, but if they will post it.
Cool. If you guys didn't get to the tennis tournament this year, the facility is incredible.
I heard amazing things.
When you put $260 million into something, apparently it makes it better. So that's what it did. Before we give Rachel a round of applause, I do have something to give her, which is right here. Allison Cremines, who's our director of operations, is the most thoughtful gift giver, so she whipped that together. There's also, though, there's something hidden somewhere in the lodge that she wanted Rachel to have to find. Oh, you have to read the envelope.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to probably go ahead and tell Rachel more or less where it is because she has a short schedule, but it's some kind of stuffed animal.
Jelly cat?
Yeah, it's a jelly cat, of course. It's a jelly cat.
Oh, she knows me so well.
I don't even know what a jelly cat is, but it may or may not be in the Lost and Found.
Where the heck is the Lost and Found?
I'll show you where the Lost and Found. Fortunately, these people all know where it is, so we might even have somebody who could retrieve it for you.
This is so cute.
Ashley's got it.
Shout out, this is so funny.
Oh yeah, so this is
my fiance in here.
Rachel's fiance in a snow globe or something like that. I don't know how she does this stuff.
That's incredible.
All right, Rachel, thank you for being here. Let's have a huge round of applause.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having
That was
me.
awesome.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, guys.